What up, what up? It's your boy Django. I am so excited to be here. I am the host of the Django Show. This is episode 7. And while I am your host, this show is about you. I wanted to take a minute to take a step back because I feel like we've all been pretty enveloped in the madness that has been this last month and a half. And I'm with you. I spent a lot of time just very unfocused. I was not prepared for what 2021 was going to be, not because of the problems, but because I literally did not take the time to do the things that I said mattered to me. And I started getting very, very caught up in just a lot of things, just all kinds of stuff, whether it be social media or the news or what people are thinking. And like, am I doing enough? And, trying to bite off more than what I could chew and just trying to take skips in the steps of my plan. And I realized that there were a lot of things that didn't serve me anymore that I believed. And so one of the questions that I've been wrestling with, which kind of kept me offline for a bit, is how much of what you believe is easy to believe because you always believed it? And when I asked myself that, it's a lot of beliefs, you can get a little bit lost in it, but I realized that there were a lot of things that didn't serve me anymore, but I still kind of held on to it because it felt like it made me me. And, some of that is tough, right? Like, for instance, a job for me was more than just a job. It was belonging to a company. It was not worrying about paying for health insurance. It was like all a constant check. It was all these things. But at the time, I didn't need a job anymore. But it was so hard to walk away from certain things because I'd always believed that I needed to be a part of that. I needed that. And so I realized that there was a lot of things that were going on in my life that I was just believing because it was easy to believe. Because I'd always believed it. Like everyone around me maybe believed it. Maybe my closest friends or my family, or it was something my parents taught me or whatever. And I went through this phase like a while back where I realized that maybe people haven't been sitting around just lying to me. Maybe people are just telling the truth from what they know. And maybe like I have to take some time to ask myself, like, why is it that you believe what you believe? And that's not really a question I think we spend a lot of time asking ourselves or even the people around us because it's uncomfortable. Because the truth is, if like what you believe maybe doesn't serve you anymore, or maybe it's not true, like then what's life? Then what's the point? It's tough to go to sleep at night when you used to believe something and now all of a sudden maybe it's not true. You think about it like being in a relationship, you believe it's real. You believe that this is the connection that you have. And then if that connection is broken, if that person leaves, if that person doesn't want to be with you anymore, like you start to question, like, was it ever real? Was it easy to believe because I'd always wanted to believe it was real, even though I saw the signs? And so as I started to ask that question, I realized that a lot of things meant more to me than what I originally thought they did. And I had to kind of fight my way to get to a new place because I had to create like a new frame for the world around me. I had to try to be something new. And I had to stop talking to some people and I had to do some different things. And one of the things I realized I have to do is I kind of need to apologize to people. I've always wanted to be the person who can be there for people, can just, you call me, you need me, I'm here. I'll reach out if I don't hear from you for a while, or I'll come out or whatever. And I realized like that does not serve the goal that I have for my life. I have really, really, really big goals for myself. Things that I want to do in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. And I can't continue the same way that I've lived I can't live the way that I've lived and still achieve the things that I want to achieve. And so today I want to ask you, like, what is it that you want for your life? And you have to ask yourself, not just like, oh, well, I want this for my life, but like, I'm willing to do what it takes to have this for my life. And maybe I'm willing to leave things behind that used to serve me, or people that used to serve me, or things that I used to do in order to achieve something for myself. And, I think back on my own life. And it's so easy to believe something that you've just always believed. It's like interesting. I went to high school and then I was told, do really well in high school, you go to college. So I went to college. And then I finished college and they were like, well, if you finish college, now you can get a good job if you get, good grades to do certain things. So got a good job. And I didn't really like the job, but it's like if you work really hard, you move up in this job. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then it's like, you get more money, you can do more things. And then I didn't really live in the place I wanted to live, or I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. But, if I keep moving up the tree, then maybe I can do more stuff. So then all of a sudden my life was like, work at this job that you don't really like, to get a bunch of stuff that you kind of like, you kind of bang with it, to maybe get a vacation from the life that you don't really like, to then, keep looking for other jobs, or maybe there's something else out there. But then, we're back to the same job. And like, there was this weird circle I was in where like, I would work Monday through Friday, and then maybe Thursday, Friday, I would party a little bit, but Saturday and then Sunday's the recovery. And then, now I'm back out and I'm just like, it was like this weird cycle of like doing things that I didn't like to get things that I didn't really want, to spend time with people that sometimes I liked, sometimes I didn't, certain things. It's just like a wild cycle. And then like, that's your life. Year after year, month after month, day after day, you're just doing the same thing. Maybe you get a new job, get a little excited. Oh, wow, okay, so maybe this will be different. But then for some reason, it's not different. Now you're back in the same cycle. Maybe you have a little bit more money, but it just doesn't seem like it's enough. And maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you love what you do. But I hated what I did, and I was stuck. And then even when I quit my job, I found myself kind of getting caught in the same cycle. And I had to ask myself, Django, what do you believe? What do you believe about life? What do you believe about what this life is? Like, in a moment's notice, everything can change. I heard the dude say, he was like, healthy people always want a million things, but a sick person only wants one. They just want to be healthy. And maybe we could have everything we ever wanted if everything we wanted was just what we needed. And that's what I've been just trying to dive into. Like, how much of what I believe isn't serving me anymore? How much of the things that I thought I wanted and I thought I needed and I thought I had to have and the things I had to do and the places I had to go, like, what if I could really figure out what it is that I wanted the most in my life? And so the truth is, now I have to move into like another state. I have to push myself farther than I've ever pushed myself, because I really, really want to hit these goals. Because some things you have to be all in. I heard Jordan Peterson saying, like, some things in life, in order to play the game, you have to be all in. And I realized with my goals, I was not all in. My plans weren't concrete. I still had plan B, C, and D. I was thinking about all the other ways. Maybe I can get around. I don't really know. I don't know if I want to spend this much time. Nah, I finally have just said, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And I have to push myself to be the best version of myself. And that's not easy. It's not easy to make that decision. It's not easy to maybe cut out some of those other things that you want to do. But I really do think that, sacrificing for a better future, whether or not you get to reach it, is something beautiful. Something beautiful to it. So I ask you today, how much of what you believe about your life is easy to believe because you always believed it? That you're not a morning person, that you hate your job, that you hate the person you're with, that you want to be single, that you want to be in a relationship, that you want to be married, that you want to be divorced, that you want more money, that you want less money, that you want to travel. Like, how many things do you want? Maybe because you just never had it, so you just always believed that would make the difference. How shitty would it be if you got there and then you found out that wasn't actually what the issue was? How deep are you willing to dive into your own psyche, into your own beliefs, to maybe try to live this life in a way that you give it everything you have? This game of life is going to kill you. It is. You have no choice. You have time. It's moving forward constantly. It never stops. It never rolls back. You never get second chances with the time that you have. And so if the game is going to kill us, and if we have a choice to be all in on the game because all our chips are here, I mean, this is it for at least what we know, then you might as well do what you want. And maybe like you get there and you find out it isn't what you wanted, but at least you found out. Because you know what regret is wanting to do something and then just kind of deciding, hey, it is what it is. I can't really do that. I'd have to wake up. Oh, I can't work too. It's tough. But I don't want to live with regret. And I don't want you to live with regret. I want you to live your life in a way that just makes you happy every moment of every day. I want you to be excited to wake up. I want you to be reflecting on your day when you go to bed like, man, I really did that today. I really took one step closer to my dream. And maybe you get there and you find out like, hey, it isn't really what I wanted to do. But at least you won't have a regret on the fact that that was something that you wanted for your life and you did it. Because that's all I ever hear from people about how, man, I wish I had that thing back, or I wish I had that person, or I wish I had made that decision, because they weren't really sure what they wanted. You got to dive deep. You got to go as deep as possible into what you believe and really find the answers, because there's nothing worse than being vague and not being sure, and then things don't work out. Because I'm okay with things not working out at this point in my life. But there was nothing worse than when things didn't work out and I was doing something that I didn't like. That shit sucks. It's the worst. Because now you're sitting here like, I didn't even want to do this and it didn't work out. So now what? I wasted this time of my life, the last 5 years in this relationship, or the last 4 years at this job, or whatever the case is. It's endless. We hear it all the time. And I want you, if you're here with me, to find something that you love more than life itself, that you'd be willing to die for it. That's when you know you found something worth living for. I thought that this show was going to have a lot of guests and things like that, but I realized that I kind of bear myself in a way that I would hate for people to get on and kind of feel like they're not opening themselves up. So I started a process with my incubator, Venture X1, and we're going to be interviewing and writing articles on entrepreneurs. I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs do a lot of things. I got a lot of good friends, my boy Jesse, my boy Darren, I got my buddy Will. Like, there's all these people I know who do so many different things, working on creating container communities, and they have clothing lines, and they have apps, and they have business after business, and they're doing all these amazing things. But people really only see them for the one product that maybe they know them about. And I want to dive deeper than that. I want people to be able to see themselves in the success of the people that I've met, that I've had the blessing to get to know. So we're going to take time. We're really going to get to interview and get deep in with these people. And we're going to write articles on them so that you can read more about their history and what they came up from and how they did it. And then we're going to even take some time on Clubhouse so you can ask them questions. And I'm just really excited to really dive into what it is that I want to do with my life and how I want to impact people and how I want to make a difference. Because it's just not enough for me to just be here and waste my time here. So I'm sorry to anyone who I said I would spend time with that I haven't gotten in touch with. I'm sorry to the people who in the future, I'm just not going to be there the same way that I was. But I realize that I have some talents and things that I just have not taken advantage of because I want to do everything and I just can't. I have to get focused. I have to be ready to take it to the ends of the earth. And while I love you and while I believe in you and I want to be here for you, I'll do my best. Reach out to me. But I am about to get in the trenches to just be the best version of myself. So be on the lookout for Venture X1. Our first interview is going to be coming out next week, first article as well. And we're really going to take this to the stratosphere. I really want to make a difference in the world. And I'm not even going to speak on everything I want to do because we need to just make it happen. I need to let my actions show for itself. Let my actions be the thing that allows you to see what I'm trying to do. The only reason I'm talking about Venture X1 is that some of the stuff is already done, so things are about to start rolling out this week. But I'm so excited for what's to come, and I'm so excited to see what you guys are able to create for your life. Remember that there is nothing worse than failing at something that you realize after the fact you didn't even want to do. Be willing to go all in because this is all we have. Ask yourself, how much of what I believe is easy to believe because I always believed it? Dive as deep into your beliefs as possible, as deep into the things that you do as possible to create the world that you want with the time that you have. What kind of life will you gift your time? I believe in you. I love you. This is Django. This is episode 7 of The Django Show. Have a great day.